Hello everybody, this lesson is called Types of Angles. If you haven't done the lesson Parts of an Angle already, you should probably go check that one out first, unless you know you've done angles work in the classroom before and feel like you don't need that review. So, as super speed version review, an angle is the space trapped between two rays, and the rays are what happens when you take a line and end it on one side and let it keep going in the other. So this is an angle. Today we're going to talk about the different names that we give the angles, so we're not saying ridiculous things like that wee tiny angle or that big giant monster angle, because that is not terribly scientific or mathematical. So the first angle that you probably know about from maybe just life in general, or maybe from other lessons, is an angle that makes a perfect corner. We call this a right angle. So anytime you see a piece of paper that is brand new and you haven't cut up, all of its corners form right angles. A right angle is measured at 90 degrees. If you've done work with degrees, feel free to keep that information in your brain. If you've never heard of degrees before, you don't have to worry about that for now. This is my little right angle testing tool. I'd cut off the piece of a corner of paper, and we can check. If it fits perfectly, then that's a right angle. Right there, we have a right angle. I'm going to switch it for my teeny tiny one so that it won't take up nearly as much space on my page. That right there is a right angle. Okay, if we have an angle that is smaller than a right angle, so let's start with our right angle right here, and then shrink it a bit. This is smaller than a right angle, this is smaller than a right angle, this is smaller than a right angle. I'm going to stop mine right there. If you have an angle that is smaller than a right angle, it is called an acute angle. It's not two words, not acute angle, but acute. The word acute comes from the Latin word acquire, which means to sharpen. So I kind of picture that as if you look at the angle as being like the pointy tip of a spear or something. Maybe that's where the to sharpen thing comes from. I'm not sure, but perhaps. So we have a right angle, 90 degrees. An acute angle is anything less than 90 degrees. If we make an angle that is larger than 90 degrees, let's go like that, this guy is not called a big giant monster angle. It is in fact called an obtuse angle. So anything this size or this size or this size, those are all obtuse angles. It gets a little tricky if you start making your angle too large, though. We're going to need some more space. Let's grab some more little tiny guys and build ourselves another angle over here. So what if I start with an acute angle, nice and small, and I grow it until it becomes a right angle, perfect 90 degrees, just like the corner of a book. I keep going, now it's an obtuse angle. But if I keep on going for too long, I'm going to make this looks like just a straight line there, but there's still an angle right here. That angle is called a straight angle. If you're measuring in degrees, this angle is 180 degrees. So we have an acute angle, itty bitty, less than a right angle. We have a right angle, perfect 90-degree corner. We have an obtuse angle, which is more than a right angle, but less than a straight angle. Our straight angle is 180 degrees. But it doesn't stop there. It keeps going. So let's squish these guys up and get us more room to work. So we have an acute angle. We have a right angle. We have an obtuse angle. We have a straight angle. And now, if you have a straight angle and keep on going and make it bigger, now we're measuring this part out here. This is called a reflex angle. A reflex angle is any time you keep going past a straight angle, so bigger than a straight line, more than 180 degrees. This big guy is called a reflex angle. Now, the last one, this is actually my favorite one because I find it a little bit ridiculous. If you start with your teeny tiny acute angle, let's make ourselves another little purple one since those ones fit on our space really well. Put our reflex angle up here. Come here, reflex angle. There we go. So we start with our acute angle, grow it till it hits a right angle. Keep going. Now it's obtuse, 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 straight, reflex. If we keep going all the way back around until both of the rays are sitting on top of each other, this thing, an actual just entire circle, is called a whole angle. All right, that is a lot of words. So you have acute angle, teeny tiny, right angle, perfect 90-degree corner, obtuse angle, anything bigger than 90 degrees, but smaller than a straight angle, which is your 180. Then you have your reflex angle, which is the big one out around the outside. And you have your whole angle, which is if your rays are sitting on top of each other. All right, figure out how you want to follow up with this. Maybe you want to draw flashcards for yourself. You could play a cool memory game where you made one card that had a picture of the angle, and then on the other card it said the name, acute. And you do that for all of your angles and then flip them upside down and play the memory game with it. But in order to get the cards, you have to recognize when you see this picture and flip the card acute that you actually got an acute angle. That could be cool. Maybe you just want to make a doodle of this in your journal and write down the words. Either way, make sure you put types of angles in your journal and carry on with life. Have a lovely day. I miss you all. Bye.